Alright, so we're going to make another GvG video. This one's going to be geared towards skirmishing, practicing, getting ready for a fight, getting an idea if it's something you can do or not. So first of all, you'll come in here, look at your screen, see where you're at, and then you'll start looking at your defenders. First thing you want to notice is their defender skills. Anything that follows or starts with a flat line or Valkyrie, which the top two do, are usually strong indicators of I don't want to touch it. If the W has changed from the purple to a slight glowing, that's an Ascended Warden, and I won't even touch those. Ascended Wardens are extremely difficult to kill, and they're ones that you pretty much want to stay away from unless you have a 30 to 40,000 attack on your GvG attacker. Then you'll scroll down and you'll look, kind of get an idea of what you think you might be able to take on. Now, before you go jumping into an attack, if it's something you would like to practice at and see if it's worth that, you can do this. Some people may call it a cheat, and maybe it is, but if the game allows it, it's not cheating. So I've already done a couple of them. I have walked through Smoothie 77 and Harry Beaver, and I will show you exactly how to do this. So I want to attack Smoothie 77. So you'll back out. You'll go to your inbox and search for, if I can spell, and here he is. And there's his defenders. And notice you can practice. So you pick up and pick your GvG team. I have two. I have a red and a blue. The blue one will not power up the clock stopper, which is this one right here, the first try. You have to have 20 gems. I can only get 18 on the board. So I can't. This team works very effectively, but if you use Valkyrie as your second, or in this case Sphere as your second, I'm pretty much screwed with this team. But if they use something like auto heal, regen, something like that, yeah, that's no big deal. But this one, on the other hand, will spawn more than enough gems to charge up this clock stopper with no issues. So I have started noticing that the new Gen 3 cards are, for lack of a better word, shit in GvG. The Procambrius is the only one that I think is worth a shit, and that's just because he has a 3-turn cooldown. He spawns Power Gem 1s, and when he puts that debuff, that constricted debuff that weakens him, it allows your attackers to do more damage. So every 3 turns, McDougal and Iron Spine's 9 Horse spawns Power Gems, and then you go ahead and add him to the mix, and that's a couple more Power Gems that goes on. The only difference between this team and this team is that you have to activate Procambrius to actually get the Power Gems, where the 2 Event Dragons in the Master Collection auto-spawn the gems. And so it's just less of a hassle and makes things work a little easier. So having the Ultra Rare for both these teams is kind of a nice thing, but it's not a necessity. If you have just a regular support card which spawns a few gems, but also makes you immune to taking damage if you activate, is very, very nice. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to practice with the red team. The easiest way to screw this up, and this is what I'm getting my practice at, which is I preach highly at, is every time you start a new match is you have to activate your clock stopper first and foremost. And I always forget to do that. Make sure you do a power gem swap. See, he's already charged up. More than enough to take him out. Now, normally you just make a dumb gem match to get everything going until your dragons auto spawn, and that's where I screw up all the time. You got to make sure to reset that counter, because if you don't stop that counter and reset it, you're in trouble. You need to make some gem matches, because that's how your support dragon spawns gems. And this is the other part. You want to just activate one of them, because they increase damage by 10% per 20 dragon intensity. So they're going to boost your damage output just by activating them. Enough to recharge him, and enough to kill the boss. And again, don't make a stupid match. Activate your clock stopper. Now you can make your stupid match. And if it's possible to save the power gem 4s that they spawn, do so. It's not always possible though. Activate one of your dragons. Try your best to make all the tiles match in a bulk if all possible. There we go. Stop the clock. I hate it when it makes you use power gems. Okay, wave 5 of 5. And remember, fire is not strong against fire. This is why I use one at a time, because when you come up against something like this, now I can activate 2 of them. And there you go. That gives you practice. Now that you've practiced and you know you can do it, now comes the daunting task of just doing it. Smoothie 77. I did do Harry Beaver. I did defeat Harry Beaver. Smoothie is a harder one, but because of this stupid little card right here is the reason why I really don't want to do it. This counter skill, defender skill, is a birthright chaos, and because it says birthright, it automatically drops at the beginning of the round. You don't get a chance to stop it. It auto drops. While yes, you can survive it very easily, it's just it's pain in the butt. So we'll take down a higher one. So we know he could beat Smoothie. It's going to make me use power gem no matter what. There you go. 5 kills. So one of the things that I try to explain to everybody as much as I possibly can is please read the back of your cards. I also wish I was doing this on the other phone. It actually runs a much higher resolution than this one. So this is the Master Collection card. This is the Support card / Ultra Rare, which does almost the exact same thing. And this is the Event card. If you look at the back of all these cards, you have to read the information of the leader skills. 300% damage and hit points for all Fire Dragon heroes. 300% damage and hit points for all Dragon heroes. 400% damage hit points for all Dragon heroes in GvG attacks. This is why I tell all you guys, do not set these as your leaders in your regular battles. You do not get the leader skills. This is set up for guild versus guild attacking. Always put a event card as your leader in your GvG attack. If you notice, Precambrius is also an event card, which means he has 400% damage and hit points for all water commander heroes in GvG attacks. That's why I have him as the leader, is because he's still boosting every single one of those cards because they're all water commanders. Even though they're human based, actually this one, this would be all water commander heroes for all water human heroes. So he's giving a boost to the whole team regardless. And that's why I have him set as the leader. So we'll get to that and then the others. So you want as many gem spawning relics as possible. For this team, I have got lucky and I have 2 dragons, and then I have the fire commander. So that's just the basic one. It does not give me extra power gems, as I don't have what is this one for? A giant. So since I don't have a giant on the team, I'm not going to get an extra gems, the power gem, but it will give me the gems at the beginning. This, however, will spawn power gems. So what you're after is as many gem spawners as you can get. Power gem spawners. Some kind of a card that spawns regular gems to keep you going. Each time this hero attacks, creates 3 fire gems and 2 power gem floors. And like I said, since this is the ultra rare, this does a little more. If you actually break this down to fire gen 2, these are dragons. Here's the regular support card, and it will create 5 fire gems. So they're not any of them are power gems, but it's at least putting regular fire gems on the board so you can keep making matches to keep everything going. But both of them become immune to damage for 1 turn if you activate them. So if you know you're going to get hit, by all means activate them. And then you have the Clock Stopper. These cards are not super hard to obtain, but they're not the easiest either. I do not have the green one, and I do not have the dark one. Okay, so here is the red one, the blue one, and here's the yellow one. So for anyone who wants the yellow one, what do you take? Oh, you already want. So for anyone who wants the yellow one, how I just got him, he's in the current event store right now. I think he's 25 of the light dragon coins, and he literally, all he does is attacks an enemy for 260% and slows for 2 turns. 20 gems to charge, 1 turn to cool down. Yeah. And since he's Dren, you could use the Skyforce Grievuses even if you weren't using any of the Dren cards, he would be able to activate both of them for gem spawn and power gem spawning. Just because he's Dren. Right off the bat. Something to keep in mind. So the last two are extremely rare, and you cannot find for crap anymore. I've been looking and searching. If I get them, I will not be letting go of them anytime soon either. So that is what I recommend for setting up a GvG attack team. Like I said, with the exception of Procambrius, it's about the only one I've come across. All other Gen 3 cards are pretty much junk. I could see maybe these time. I think this is a 3-turn cooldown, maybe. No, this is a 5-turn. Screw that. And I think this one's also a 5-turn cooldown. Yeah. I also know that your ultimate form cards, regardless, do not have any additional special ability inside guild versus guild. They are null and voided. The only thing that you're going to get is the fact that they do a lot of damage, they have a lot of health, and they have a very high recovery. Other than that, that's it. They do nothing else special. So unless you're doing an event or going through your regular missions, the daily dungeons and all that stuff, these cards have no other effect. I do know that some of them will light up during Legends trials. I've gotten them to light up a little bit on the silver coin Legends. I have not tried any of these yet on the gold coin Legends. Entropy right now is my biggest challenge to kill. And so we're going to try and figure out how I can get him down a little bit easier. But yeah, so there you go. A 17,000 attack team that can take down a 56,000 defense team. So with a little practice, which you saw how to do, it is possible. So if anyone needs help, by all means, I'll be more than happy to help anybody that asks. I'll look at what you got. I will walk you through and help you the best I can. But beyond that, you're going to have one of these clock stoppers if you're going to take on some of the higher teams. That's just all there is to it. It's required. Okay, so good luck to everyone, and again, if you have questions or need help, by all means ask.